And welcome to another episode of Switch On Network, where we bring you all the latest hot topics in and around your sporting world, especially the world we all love. That's the world of football. That'll be our major focus today. We'll be talking all things of football. A lot happening during this time of the year, which is really strange because normally this is the downtime for most footballers, but there is a Club World Cup happening at the moment. A lot happening, a lot of exciting matches to look forward to, a lot of exciting matches that we can look back to as well. And then it is the silly season. We call it the silly season because a lot will be happening in terms of comings and goings of players and coaches at various and respective clubs. So make sure you tune in, make sure you like and especially subscribe. We are on all the various social media platforms. You can catch us on Instagram, on X, on Nadim help me, Facebook, on TikTok. You name it, we are there. Switch On Network. Make sure that you like, you comment, and you subscribe. It is, after all about you, the viewer, and we want to interact with you. Your view matters to us. This morning, I am joined by two very, very astute gentlemen. One, a legend of the game. Morgan, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Mark. It's that time again. Switch On Network, and if I can take off this top, the scars that I have inside, my medical aid is exhausted, my man.
Well, again, we'll get into that, but we know exactly why. And we speak about a legend in football terms, but then a legend in the research field. Nadim Lukele, always great to be with you on this platform.
No,
sir.
Thank you so much, Mike. It's always good to be here.
Now, okay, let's get right into it. Morgan, why are you scarred, my friend? What happened? Morgan?
Some time ago, or the last episode, we had a debate discussion before the Club World Cup, looking at what's going to happen or what's currently happening now. And I said that it's going to be a baptism of fire. My man, I got hate.
So you got the baptism of fire.
Yes, I did, for sure. And I take it with a pinch of salt, but the insults, man, the insults, let's keep it clean. Let's
be civil.
Yeah, let's be civil. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. We've been talking about so many teams, and the football lovers and the football fans of all the different teams must understand. It's just my opinion, and that's what I got it wrong. And
everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
I want to say my hat goes off to Mamelodi Sundowns for what they did. They came out. They won their first game. Unfortunately, the second game, they didn't win, but they really, really gave a good account of themselves. And for me, my hat goes off to them. It's just good for our football in Africa, for us in South Africa. We're going to witness a takeover of them again. They're going to run over a lot of teams, but it's really, really good for the game of football, and they experience something really, really different.
So let's go on the record now and say, do you feel like they proved you wrong?
No, they didn't prove me wrong, but they did what they needed to do.
They did what they needed to do. You didn't, but did you expect the performance that they put up?
Yes, I did expect it. They're a top team. They're a top-class team.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. Now I'm going to come to Nadim now. Let's go straight into it. I mean, obviously, with everything that was said, how do you feel about the opening two matches, specifically Sundowns? How did they do?
I think they did well, especially in the first game. They managed to... We saw that team from South Korea, that it's not that bad, because if you look how they played their second match, where it looked like they were leading 2-1 against the Brazilian team. So I feel like winning 1-0, it's what they needed to do. That's tournament football. Yeah. If you score one goal and get it, then that's correct. But obviously against Dortmund, it was expected that they will lose, and they lost. And the score might fool a bit of people, but by the time Sundowns scored, it was already 4-1 at one point in time.
So are you saying the scoreline is flattering to Sundowns?
Yeah, Sundowns. People are praising that they scored 3 goals. Already it was 3-1. It was 4-1. By 4-1, and then when it was 4-2.
What if I say to you that Sundowns could have been 3-0 up before Dortmund even scored?
I will tell you that it wasn't. Dortmund is the one that scored 4 goals. It wasn't 3-0.
Yeah, they scored 4 goals. I give you that, but
The chances that
The
they
chances
had.
that Sundowns created, and you saying it like it was such a dominant performance by Dortmund that they overran Sundowns, and that 4-1 lead was basically, you know, how the game went, and it was a 4-1 type of game. Do you honestly believe that it was a 4-1 type of game?
Yes. I checked the score. I had 2 TVs. The other one was saying 4-1, and it was 4-1. So whatever you say, it doesn't change that. It was 4-1 for a fact.
No, we're talking about how the match went. Are you saying to me it was a 4-1 performance, like Sundowns were completely outplayed?
I've never seen Sundowns where they score the first goal, then the other team will score 4 unanswered goals. Yes, Sundowns. Of course, when you're playing, football is a sport of small margin.
Yeah.
You look like you're in. They give you hope. So just like Pep Guardiola's team, they will do that in England, where you feel like you should have done that, could have. It doesn't work. The fact is, even Real Madrid 1-1, one will say, what if Thibaut Courtois in that match, he made 8 saves.
Yeah.
One will say, what if that team scored 6 goals? They didn't score 6 goals. They
Sure.
only scored 1. So even what you're saying with Sundowns, that they could have scored 3-0, they didn't score.
Yeah.
So by the time
But they scored 2 more goals to make it 4-3, and it was a lot closer than the 4-1 you say.
It doesn't matter, because by the time they scored those 2 goals, the team was already 4 home and dry. That's why they took on their best player on the field and their best defender, Sule. Because the job was done, they were thinking of the next match.
They brought on their best attacker though.
Who?
Adeyemi.
Yeah, they were just
So
giving...
I mean, you
no,
can't
they're
say...
introducing him like minutes a bit. Even at the man didn't start the first game, right? Yeah, so it's not like he's one of their best attackers, but he's not been. If you look at how in the first matches, like he didn't play. For me, I think we're praising Sundowns too much.
No, but
we're
we need,
praising.
It's not about the
Nadim,
praise.
it's not
It's not
praising.
about the praise.
They did a phenomenal job.
No,
to be honest,
the problem they lost.
To be honest, I played against Wilder Bremen when they came to South Africa and they were on preseason, and like they take everything serious. They don't mess around. They made sure there's difference between us.
Do you remember when the World Cup in 2022?
Remind me.
It's Argentina beat France.
Yeah.
That's it. Either on penalties, or it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
remember
okay,
the winner.
let's
the
give
fact
credit.
is, Dortmund was a winner against Sundowns. Sundowns
Yes,
didn't win
granted.
that match. Yeah, and Sundowns tried their best, because for me,
we are going back because basically when going into this tournament, what were your words? They're going there to make numbers, and they're going there to take pictures and selfies and whatever. Do you stand by that?
I do.
Based on what they've done and what they've shown at this tournament?
Yes, I do. Simply because,
They just gone there to add numbers.
yes, I expect them to be back in the OR Tambo airport on Friday.
No, Nadim, they've got a big game tomorrow.
Yes, I expect
They've
them
got
to
a big
play the
game.
game and come back.
No, they've got a big opportunity. The way the mood in the camp is right now,
I'm
the
not taking
performance they gave.
I'm saying I expect that. If you expect Sundowns to stay and be in the group 16, it's fine. I am saying,
The performance that they gave from the Dortmund game,
yeah.
it gives them hope and to say,
I'm not
guys,
talking
we are
about
very
hope.
close.
I'm not talking about hope. I'm talking about Sundowns. I said all African teams are not gonna make the last 16. All African teams. I don't choose. Are you Sundowns? Are you Wydad? Are you from Tunisia? I don't care. I've said all of them, and it's gonna be like that. If you oppose that, you can face. Where's the camera? You can face the camera and go on record and say Sundowns are gonna be in the last 16.
No,
I'm not gonna dispute that, but I know all of them are coming back, even Sundowns, because there's no way they can beat this Fluminense, right?
Yeah,
The
they're
final
playing
game,
Fluminense.
Yeah, no. Because Fluminense, remember, they don't even need to win that match. A draw will knock out Sundowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sundowns, I don't even think they can beat that Brazilian team.
I'm still going back to whether they come home after the last game or not. I want you to admit that they put up a good show and they represented the continent beautifully. I think they were easily probably of all
That's
the African teams that were there, they were the best team.
That's why African football is not improving, because we like praising things that are not there.
It's not about praising. It's giving credit.
Look
where
at
it's
Brazil.
due.
Yeah.
In Brazil, they are representing the Brazilian football. You know why?
Yeah.
All Brazilian teams are going to the last 16.
Okay.
Yeah. Only one Brazilian team have lost. We like praising things that are not there. We praise nonsense at times. Sundowns are not going through the last 16. If they're on top of the group, I was going to buy a Sundowns jersey. I was going to be happy that Sundowns have done.
Can I buy
We
a
can't
Sundowns
praise-
jersey?
Okay. So then
We can't praise-
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad
We've
you said
got
that.
a problem in
I'm glad you
Africa
said
where
that.
in Africa we've got a problem where we praise things that are not there. Let's give credit where it's true, not where it's not true. Sundowns, if they can make the last 16, they will have made Africa proud, not only South Africa.
Yeah.
Yes, but
No,
now
I'm
we
glad
can't
you say
speak-
that. I'm glad. So let's do this then. If if Sundowns make the last 16, what are you willing to do?
If
If they still stand a very good chance. If they win, they don't need any favors. They don't need calculators. They don't need anything.
the next 3
All they
weeks,
need- all they
the
need
next
to
3
do-
weeks of the show, I'll be present. I'll be wearing a Sundowns t-shirt.
For the next 3 weeks.
Yeah,
And you'll attend 2 of the games.
all of them. All of us.
Nadim, beyond that, wear the jersey. I want you to go on record and say you will formally apologize
To what?
for saying what you said.
So-
Because you said they're going. Do you know? I mean, if you think about it, I know what happened with Bafana against France when guys were taking pictures with guys they look up to on the global stage. I don't think that Sundowns, it was anything like that. Sundowns were going there to compete. They were always going to be competitive. And the way you put it is like they're just going there to make up the numbers. And if they were to get through and make it to the last 16,
If they
that
don't make the last
deserves
16,
an apology.
if they don't make the last 16, will you say I'm wrong?
What do you mean?
If they don't make the last 16, will you still want me to apologize?
Then you don't have anything to apologize for,
Exactly.
isn't it?
I won't have anything to apologize. They're not going to make the last 16 because they're playing a strong.
But if they make the last
they are
16,
playing
you're
the
gonna
strongest team.
go on. You're gonna look into one of these cameras and you.
Definitely. I have to
gonna say,
apologize. If they beat Fluminense.
from the bottom of my heart.
Definitely.
I
No.
apologize.
Football would have humbled me. If Sundowns can beat Fluminense.
It would have humbled you.
100%.
No,
it will have humbled.
on
it,
my-
will have dealt with me.
No,
because
on my
I believe
behalf.
Fluminense is one of the best teams in the tournament. So if Sundowns go and beat a team like that,
Okay.
I will not downplay that. It will be for me a massive success.
So
I will
you
say
see, that's what I have
Cardoso.
an issue with. That's what I have an issue with because you make and again, you make it seem like there's no hope for Sundowns in this game when Dortmund, they drew with Dortmund, this Fluminense team that you say are so good. First of all, I think it was goalless that game. Then they were 2-1 down against Ulsan at some point. And then they ended up winning 4-2, granted. They did beautifully. And we've seen that from the Brazilian teams. We saw yesterday.
It's a match of quality. If you're leading 2,
And that's what I'm saying.
If you're down 2-1, then you score. You go on to score 3 unanswered goal. It's superior quality.
It's your quality, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
But
It's a change of plan also. You must remember, they've got a good coach and they've got a technical team that looks at those. We are lacking here and we need to win this game. This is what we need to do. So I ate humble pie and I'm saying it. I ate humble pie to say they gave a really, really good account of themselves. All I need to do is to say to you, they've got a good opportunity.
No, for me, I don't see it. I wish I see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, again, the game is going to be played. So we'll come back and we'll dissect. And then.
Yeah, for me, I wish them all the best. Honestly speaking, I know a lot of people at Sundowns. It will be nicer for Africa, for everyone involved, just to have a team like Sundowns reaching there. Because it's embarrassing that we always claim that we're a football continent and all those kind of things. Imagine all the Brazil, they've sent 4 teams there. One country, Brazil. All of them are going through the last stage.
Yeah.
And we claim that we're the best, right? And all
Who claims we are the best?
us, we say our football is the best in Africa.
You mean, from a South African perspective?
No, not
that's-
African POV.
But that's true.
We claim like we always produce the best players. We need to. Africa is being underrated. It needs to be given a chance. Even when we're campaigning for the World Cup, Africa must be taking the same treatment of the world and all those kind of things. Now FIFA has done this tournament where every team, same level, play the same number of games, same pitch,
sure.
all of them going out same time. Brazil, all of them staying. For me, it will be a huge embarrassing. You understand? For me,
It's a learning curve, Nadia.
no,
You
it's not
can't
a
say-
learning curve. I'm saying
is.
no.
Your
I'm
point
sa-
is taken. Your
Yeah.
point is taken.
because the best player at Sundowns is not even good enough to play for any team in Brazil. He's never played in the professional league in Brazil. And then I'm not convinced that Sundowns can beat those kind of players. I don't think it's going to happen. And I feel like also their attitude is wrong. The coach, I think the coach, maybe if it was a coach like Rulane or Pitts or someone who's level-headed,
Wait.
I heard him praising himself. Yeah, we nearly scored. Dortmund at one point in time were defending. Were they not supposed to defend? It's not a football match where you attack and defend. For me, that's why I have a problem with the coach because, yes, what Sundowns did was correct. There was a time where they put pressure, they tried to get an equalizer, of which they didn't. Then the coach, instead of saying, okay, we suffered, we considered 4 goals after scoring first, which is embarrassing. Understand? Because we're now on a propaganda and act as if we didn't see Sundowns scoring first and conceding 4 goals. From there,
Would you agree with me that historically Borussia Dortmund is one of the top clubs globally in the world?
I know.
I think the coach was just saying it's, they can take heart from the fact that they were competitive against a Dortmund team, one of the best clubs in the world.
Then you're not good enough. If you think like that.
If you're competitive against one of the best clubs, Morgan, maybe
Then-
I'm
then
missing
you're not-
something here. Help me here, please.
No, then you're not good enough. There's something where Dropper was signed for Chelsea. He joined Chelsea. There was Michael Ballack, John Terry, and all those kind of things.
You're talking about an individual player.
No, wait.
Now.
I'm just saying. When at that time, he looked at Mourinho, which you brought him with full of stars. Immediately, you look at those people as if you are not equal than them. It means you're not good enough to compete with them. Sundowns, if they feel they're the best, they mustn't have that thing which we overachieved by losing to Dortmund.
I don't think that you're taking that out of context completely.
I'm
I
not
think you're
because
completely taking it
I'm
out of
not.
context.
I'm not taking out of concept because
Morgan, maybe let me bring you in here.
Yeah.
For the coach to say, we felt, we were competitive in this game. And if you're competing against one of the best clubs in the world, is that not something to be proud of?
Yeah, it's definitely something to be proud of. I think sometimes success is not the trophies. It's the small margins that you're seeing your team grow, and you see yourself as a human being, a coach in his regard, growing, playing against a team that's world-renowned, knowing that they've got good players.
You saw PSG and Botafogo.
Back to back.
You saw the attitude of PSG and Botafogo.
What was the attitude?
Arrogance. They don't care about you. No one here can dispute and say PSG, Botafogo have better players than PSG. Pound for pound. PSG have the better squad than all the Brazilian team. But they beat PSG because they don't care. Their mindset, we're here to win. To fight you very hard, to put you... We're not here to praise yourself. For me, I feel
that's
like...
a funny thing you say that, but I feel like if Sundowns rolled over, they wouldn't even have been competitive in this game. I think you're saying that, and that's contradictory because I think Sundowns actually displayed that attitude where they came out and they said, we're going toe-to-toe with Borussia Dortmund.
Imagine 4-1 and you come
they
back.
lost, but they went toe-to-toe.
They considered 4 goals.
They went toe-to-toe.
But they lost.
Yes.
They-
It's football.
You're
gonna win some,
you
you're gonna
act
lose
as if
some.
you were sleeping, you were not watching the game because at one point in time it was 4-1.
Yes.
The last goal of Sundowns, it was late.
Yes.
It was already 4-2. Of which it was already a 2-goal aggregate.
And they reduced it to
What are you
1.
saying?
Yes, but
What
it
are you
doesn't
saying?
matter. It was either they score or not score. They knew they were not going to score. They're already winning. So it doesn't
So
matter.
you saying Dortmund relaxed and they allowed Sundowns to
Of
score
course,
2
they
goals?
put
Did
the-
you see the coach's
They
reaction?
removed their best player.
Did you see their coach's
They
reaction?
removed their best player.
Did you see their coach's reaction?
Because
so
he
the
knew-
coach was okay with
He
them
knew that
scoring.
he made a mistake.
He took out his best player to put a better player in.
Who?
I'm just saying.
No,
That's the strategy.
He put the best defender, Sul. Immediately he did that. That's where Sundowns started attacking and scoring goals. He put the best defender because they were thinking of the second
And that
one.
means Sundowns' attack is very lethal then. If they can put a worry into a team like Borussia Dortmund, you definitely, they are one of the best.
For me, I just wish at least one African team. I know that in this case, I'm prepared to be wrong. I'm prepared all the insults that will come my way. If one African team can make it to the last 16.
And Sundowns is the only one that...
It's actually embarrassing that the whole continent of Africa, it doesn't look good that we cannot send one African team that can compete among the best and just be in the last 16.
No, but Nadim,
That's why I
they
feel-
competed. They competed.
No, not when you lost. Brazilian team are winning. Flamengo beat Chelsea 3-1. Botafogo, they are winning, bruh. Even that team of Messi, people were saying, who claim to analyze football in South Africa, they were saying, Inter Miami is useless. Busquets are old, Messi are old. They beat a European team, Porto 2-1. Win, then we talk. But we don't win, we talk. But you don't win against the big teams. Beat a European team, then you will talk. Porto are former European champions. Beat those kind of teams with the best players in the world. Then you talk. We praise Sundowns for nothing. It's actually becoming embarrassing.
No, we don't praise them for nothing.
No, we are
good
praising
players.
them for losing 4-3.
They've got good players.
No, we're
and
praising them for
played-
losing 4-3.
They played
as if
at
we
top,
didn't see
top.
when the score was 4-1.
But Nadim, they played well.
I don't know. I didn't see the one they played well.
Nadim, you said
I didn't see
you
it.
were watching the
Nadim
game.
doesn't want to see that.
No, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
When
And
Nadim
all the
watches,
Sundowns
when
fans,
Nadim
they can-
watches football,
they can keep
he
with their
only
insults
he
and
watches
okay.
the
The
score line.
score.
So when you watch, you only watch the scoreline. You don't watch what's happening on the field, or
No.
it's
I
the
watch
scoreline
each
is
and
what
every
matters.
minute. I watch even Sundowns when they took off Ribeiro, they took off Mkwena, of which again, I thought it was madness
What?
taking off Mkwena.
Why?
Because I believe it's always one player who give options. Even in that free kick, he created the second goal. Taking him off, I think it was almost just. I don't think it was also player who was not performing well.
The two. So you're saying the subs.
And Sundowns, they actually-
you have an issue with the subs the coach made.
Yeah, I did.
When two of the substitutes actually combined for the third goal.
No, I've got issues when they took off Mkwena, who created the second goal. Then I realized that
Created the second goal and cost the second goal for.
then you should have taken
against or
Williams considered the second.
Yeah, that's what I'm
the
saying.
first
So
goal.
if you say that,
No, but Mkwena, we are saying Mkwena. I think Mkwena should have played because Allende, this thing of pushing Allende, South American, I'm beginning to think at Sundowns
there's an agenda.
No. I think there's an agent at Sundowns who's behind the players. It might be.
I know.
It might be. Mark, as an agent, you'll know that your job as an agent is to make money out of selling players. I believe there's someone who wanted the South American players to succeed at Sundowns so that they can be sold overseas at a good package. So a player like Mkwena doesn't serve the interest of the guy who busy like trying to export the players from Sundowns. Because taking off Mkwena, I feel Sundowns are strong. I will always believe Sundowns are stronger with Mkwena when he's playing on the pitch. I believe he's the best player in South Africa. Immediately to take him off in a war, I think it's stupid.
Nadim, those are conspiracy theories, but I think we'll leave it at that. Sundowns ultimately still have one more game. They still have the opportunity. Esperance Tunis, I think they play Chelsea. If they beat Chelsea, they stand a chance of going through. So again, even there,
Chelsea?
I'm saying
Esperance.
Esperance. If they beat Chelsea, they stand a chance of going through, right?
Oh, come on, man.
I'm
You know those things are impossible.
So it's impossible.
Yeah, those things are impossible.
But the reality
They're
is,
nice too.
But the reality is there's two African teams who still have an opportunity to advance from the group going into the last fixture of the group. Right? Right?
Hey, the cat's got his tongue now.
Where's my camera, Daniel? Who said this one? All African teams are coming back on Friday.
Okay.
All if and when it doesn't work.
No, we're not.
So we're
I'm
going to
saying
get
to
a
you-
Sundowns
Yeah.
jersey if they qualify, and we're going to get an Esperance jersey if they qualify.
They won't be Chelsea. It's not
Nadim,
gonna happen.
Let's make the
Nadim.
team.
It's not going to happen. There's no deal, Mokwen.
No, I'll actually make contact with people
Don't
that
worry.
are in
Owen got 3
Tunisia.
Sundowns jerseys. We've got them. We can wear them. We've got it. Don't
Nadim,
worry about that.
this is not a difficult thing. It's a question and it just needs an answer.
What is the question?
There are still two African teams
Yeah.
that have a good chance. Their destiny is firmly in their own hands. If they win their respective
The
games,
problem is that English is your first language. But
if they win their
we
respective
are
games,
getting it wrong, even though English is your first language.
okay, correct me.
You're supposed to say they still have a chance, not a good chance. There's no good chance.
Okay, let me take away. They have a chance of advancing to the round of 16
Yeah.
should they win their games.
Yeah.
Right or wrong?
All right.
Okay, so
And it's not going to happen.
okay, that's
Yeah.
your opinion.
Yes.
You're
Definitely.
entitled
I'm
to
here
it?
for my opinion, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yes,
You're
yes,
entitled
yes,
to
yes,
that.
yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
we're gonna revisit this
And so
conversation.
far, the good thing about me, history with Sundowns have been proven right. Everything that I've said about them. Yeah, so I'm very happy with that. That no matter how much these guys from Pretoria who claim to be Sundowns fans insults and hate, but what I've said, they've been correct. It doesn't matter. Their feelings and all those things, insults, they means nothing. They are not gonna, because when we speak about Chiefs and Pirates, they praise us. They say we are not biased. Immediately we say things against their team, they expect to be praised every day. It's not the PSN
And
where
they have the right to their opinion
of
as well.
course,
right?
and
So
but
we
they're not
all
gonna
have.
they're not gonna bully us and exchange us. They're not.
So Morgan,
Yeah.
two African teams still alive.
Yeah.
Esperance. It's a tough ask against a Chelsea, and then Sundowns against Fluminense. Tough ask. Is it impossible? I mean, Nadim clearly feels it's impossible.
It's not impossible, Mark. I mean, I think football's played on the field, and on the day, if you do the smaller things are correct, and you take care of the smaller details, where the technical team and the opposition analysis have given you the insight to say, this is where you can expose them, this is where they're weaker, And if you do that and continuously do that, I think they've got a great opportunity. And it's possible you'll be wearing Esperance and Sundowns jersey. We'll actually cut it in half so you wear both at the same time. So I think it's exciting times.
So Esperance
times.
had to beat Chelsea.
Yes, why not? It can happen. This is football, Nadim. As they say, football will humble you.
What you're saying is blasphemy, yes? It's embarrassing.
Okay. But okay, let's just look at the tournament overall. When we look coming into this, there was a lot of doubt around, the Club World Cup and its relevance and, this format of the tournament. Now that we are pretty much the end of the group phase, how are you feeling about it? Maybe Morgan, let me start with you. We at the end of the group phase, the old format where, it was just one team from every confederation. Now we've got a proper World Cup.
It makes it exciting. It's one of those things where more teams have an opportunity to test their might in this tournament. And it's good for football. And this is actually a transfer market where people can go on. Players like Debzat, players like Alande. There's so many players in the Sundowns team that can get contracts from this, not taking away from our brother Loch doing a phenomenal job, people are raving about him. And I think also just to touch a little bit on him, he went to a country where they don't know Loch, and he needed to say, humble beginnings. I need to start again. No one knows me here. I'll try to be as fit as possible. And it's also a great thing that a coach that took him there is now left, and the coach that's taken over is still trusting and believing in him. So that means he's done the calculations. He's seen, I've got an opportunity, I've got a window to go to another club, or if my mother club wants me, like Sundowns is obviously the Lonely, they can take me back on I'm a revived Lodge, or I can get teams in the UAE, I can get teams anywhere in the world right now. So for me, this is great opportunity for all the players, especially the Brazilians. Brazilians.
I mean, they have no issues exporting.
They don't have issues. They actually bring back their best players and players from Europe to come back and play in their respective leagues.
Memphis Depays and
imagine that Memphis Depay playing in South Africa. That would be great. So I think that's also exchange for players that are overseas coming into South Africa and saying, if Sundowns can do that, how many other clubs are as good as Sundowns?
Yeah. Nadim, your take on, the Club World Cup as a whole?
It's been very eye-opening in terms of, remember, we don't get to watch Brazilian teams. Yeah. So, Super Sports.
Are you loving the Brazilian teams?
I'm loving them. They are opening eyes because MultiChoice always try to colonize us with English football and European football, which doesn't really. And you see the European teams being humbled. I won't even be shocked if a team that's going to win the tournament can come from...
Again, having said that, and I hear your point, do you feel like the European teams are taking this as serious as every other team?
Of course, there's a winner will get something like 150 million pounds. It's a lot of money involved.
Yeah.
All the teams, they are there. That's why they brought in their best players. Even Real Madrid, they paid 10 million for Alexander Arnold, even though he was supposed to join them a month later.
They
for that 30 days
just to join them. Yeah.
So all the European teams, they are very serious about this tournament. That's why they are getting frustrated when things go their way. Even the coaches might be fired. They might not start the season from Europe.
Based on the performance.
Yeah, but based on this thing, all of them, they're taking it serious. There's just I have learned so much about the South American teams, that football there, the quality, how they play, the unity. Brazilian players, I understand why they are the most exported players, that almost every team has a Brazilian player. The quality of them, it's been so impressive. That's why in South Africa, we need to have other people who are going to compete with MultiChoice and have Brazilian and South African football, because the English football, honestly speaking, is being humbled. All the English teams there, or European teams, they've been struggling, to be honest with you. So I feel like South American football is shown us. We don't watch it, we don't get to see it. Even those who watch it, maybe it plays at midnight. You have to use the
hours are
illegal streams and all those kind of things. But now it's time that we can really see it proper. I've been impressed with the South American football.
So when you look globally, I look at Al Hilal. That first game against Real Madrid. And they put up a really good performance. And, you know, there have been teams that you didn't expect. Who would have thought Inter Miami now would have advanced into the round of 16, you know, from the group that they were in as well. So there's been some surprise packages in this tournament as well.
Yeah, man. Touching on the Brazilians, I think if you look in each and every team in the Club World Cup, there's a Brazilian somewhere, somehow. So that goes to show that they probably on the JSC in Brazil, you know, player transfer moves as part of the economy.
Yeah.
So it strengthens the economy. So yeah, Mark, it's also just nice to see that teams like Al Hilal, they've got obviously the best players that they can recruit because of the money that's pumped into. So yeah, it's good, you know. It's really, really good.
So you see this going to Brazil?
I will not be shocked. At first, I thought maybe Real Madrid or PSG have a chance. But now, after Botafogo beat PSG, the Brazilian, if you want to beat the Brazilian team, you need to be prepared to suffer.
Yeah.
And I don't know how far European team, because they know how to play tournament football. That's why I feel Sundowns are coming back home on Friday.
Okay.
Depending on the flight from where they're going, the duration could be Friday, it could be on Saturday.
Yeah.
Those guys, they play, they fight, their attitude, it's on another level. They don't praise themselves for nothing. I like what you said.
We can't match their attitude.
I like what you said about Inter Miami. It was a surprise. Why are we not saying about even one African team where we say it's a surprise? They beat an African team. That would be nice.
Yeah.
But we like praising ourselves for nothing. That's the problem with African football. That's why it don't grow. That's why we've not seen an African team even reaching the final of the World Cup. We like praising ourselves for nothing. I think we need to take a step higher level of saying Africa is the same quality as Brazilian. Our African
So we
players.
must expect more of ourselves.
Yeah,
basically.
we must push ourselves harder. That's why, I mean, we now blame who? Who are going to blame God or angels that there's no African footballer who can win the World Football of the Year? We like praising ourselves for nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I nearly like shocked when you and Morgan were praising Sundowns for losing to Dortmund 4-3. They lost, but we are praising them as if they won, which is problematic. It doesn't have that kind of Inter Miami, no problems. They played Porto, they beat them 2-1. That's
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk after the last group games. We'll definitely, I mean, there's still a lot to
Let's
dissect there.
celebrate victories.
Yeah.
Yeah, football is an
They
emotional
can only
sport.
go through with a victory, so they need to win. At the end of the day, it's going to be a victory or nothing.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's
Both Esperance
and Sundowns.
Esperance, I'm sure they've already packed. They're expecting to lose to Chelsea.
but they've got 3 points and they've got a great opportunity to go to the next round.
No, there's no opportunity.
So the same way that the European teams are looking at the prize money, Esperance are also saying it's the same prize money. All we need to do is conquer the one that's in front of us.
At the end of the day, the
I've
ball
already
is
responded
around.
responded to Moken that
Yes.
there's no opportunity. I can't say further than that.
The ball is around. Even me, I'm not going to say any more about this.
There's no opportunity.
Sundowns and Esperance, they have their destiny firmly in their own hands. They need to go on the field and do the business. Obviously, I think there's obviously going to be some great matchups moving on into this tournament. Is there specific players that you would say, is there any one player that stood out for you that you can say, wow, or someone you didn't expect too much from?
Nah, there's too many players, Mark.
Much quality.
Yeah, there's too much quality, and it's so much quality that you can. If you had to make a Club World Cup team, you'd have 3 different teams and 3 different lineups. So this is so much quality where you marvel to watch the partnerships that they have. Because remember, as much as we look at the player individually, the players that are playing around him make him look good. So for me, there's too many players.
And you, Nadim, anyone stand out? Just
Like
all the Brazilians, or you just all the Brazilians? Is there
No,
one
it's not. Like, you can't really pick on one. Because if you look, the way they play, it's collective effort. So that's why there's no player, maybe we can say, scored a hat-trick in this tournament. So we can really pinpoint. You can go to Real Madrid, how they played it, then you can say Adakula came in for them, even after getting a red card. Then you can go to Sundowns and say Ribeiro against Dortmund. He showed that people lied. They say he used to be a mechanic in Brazil. But there you saw what this boy can play. I mean, that confidence.
That's one of the goals of the tournament.
And that confidence to tear apart the defense like that. And that confidence to do that. I mean, it's admirable for Reyners. For Ribeiro. Even Reyners scoring that goal. So you look at each and every team, but I think we'll tell the top players as they start rising in the knockout stages.
I knew it.
In the knockout stages.
You need to look from the first game because automatically you play two games or 3 games.
No, but I've already said there are a lot of them. But there's Ada Kula. I mean, even at Inter, the Ali Kulupai, even Bono, the goalkeeper from Morocco.
Sure.
So they've been each and every team. They've been standard performance. Even at Real Madrid, Courtois.
And the player of the
is already
match,
a goalkeeper of the tournament. 8 saves in 1 match.
player of the match is quite a nice prize, eh?
But I think it's selected by basketball players, basketball analysts.
Why? Because of stats.
Yeah, because it's nonsense. I saw them a Real Madrid match where Courtois had 8 saves. Then they gave it to Jude Bellingham,
Okay.
who didn't even play the whole match, and he scored that goal, and that was it. So you can see that it's selected on popular contest, it's not based on merit. It's madness.
So
that's
we
why
look at a Sundowns
that's why
perspective.
countries like USA, in football is not their number 1 sport. It's the NFL number 1, and number 2 is baseball. Number 3 is basketball. Number 4 in
Hockey, ice hockey, NHL.
Then they've got
The racing.
and then they've got WWE. They've got so many sports. Football
Before
is not.
football.
You hear that a popular name they say is the man of the match, which is nonsense. It's actually degrading, demotivating players who really played well.
Is it true? I think Iki Reyners is 8.5 million for the man of the match.
No, it's not.
What's
It's not It's not announced yet. The prize money.
Oh, the prize money, we're not sure.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, FIFA is not disclosed.
But there is
Yes, there is a prize money, but it's
money
way below.
attached to it.
It's way below than
it's
the
not
one.
that 8.5 million rand that
I
people are
verified.
talking about.
Yes, I verified. It's not.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's not that 8.5 million.
Okay.
So Renas is not gonna get that money. The only way he can get it when the CAF president come back and give him a bonus of 8.5 million.
Okay, we're gonna see, obviously, and maybe if they reach the last 16, who knows what.
No, they're not gonna reach last.
Yeah,
16.
we just said
I'm
maybe.
tired of explaining one and the same
maybe.
thing.
You're saying maybe.
Yeah, but I'm getting tired.
Okay, let's leave the Club World Cup at that. There's still a lot to discuss. Remember, as always, please make sure that you join us in the conversation, comment, like, but especially, there's a lot of you that are watching the content but not subscribing. Your subscription helps keep us doing what we're doing.